Hi, this is ig33ku's, another video review. Today we'll be looking at the Acer Aspire M3300-655X7. This review unit is sponsored by Acer Penang, so I'd like to thank them for sending this over. Anyway, we'll be talking quickly about the outside, then we'll be going about the insides and the benchmarking a little bit later on. But first, in the front here, we have a DVD-ROM drive, a memory card bay, which supports various formats, a power button, an eject button for the DVD-ROM drive, and another eject button in case you want to put in a DVD-ROM drive here. On the left side, we have a nice ventilation panel here with a lot of air. You can feel the air actually moving in and out. Other than that, there's nothing else. On the side here, we have nothing but some stickers for the specs, Jubilee sound, HDMI, Windows license or Windows 7 Premium, and of course several other various stickers. And on the top we have 4 USB ports, a microphone and headphone jack, and a compartment. Let me just pop it open, there we go, for cable management or whatever you want to throw inside there. Starting from the top, we have the PS2 ports for the keyboard and mouse, the output ports for the onboard display for the ATI 780G chipset. This is the HDMI, this is the VGA. Over here we have 4 USB ports and 2 USB ports over here, Gigabyte LAN, Firewire, optical audio out, 7.1 audio out, and of course down here is the dedicated ATI 5570 card with its DVI out, HDMI out, and VGA. And now we're running the Heaven benchmark on DirectX 11 at 1080p default settings. As you can see now, the Heaven benchmark is running and tessellation is on, and frame rates is around 7 frames per second. Of course, bear in mind that this is a benchmark, so we'll check Metro 2033 and see how it really looks like on a real world test. On the Heaven benchmark, the score is 214, average frames per second is 8.5, minimum frames per second is 4.7, maximum frames per second is 18.6. So that's of course on this benchmark, but the Heaven benchmark is a very fair representation of DirectX 11 hardware acceleration on the system. So we'll probably see the same type of frame rates on Metro 2033, and hopefully maybe even better, but I doubt it. And as you can see, that's the intro of Metro. We got 30 frames per second on that. Now I've set the resolution to high, enabled DirectX 11, and of course set the details also on high. So this is 1080p high details, DirectX 11. Let's begin the test. Take note, I'm using my wireless touchpad keyboard to play this game, so it's pretty difficult. And we're still coasting around 6 frames per second.
Follow me.
As you can see, the Heaven benchmark is very accurate at judging DirectX 11 capabilities of a system, and more or less is estimated it will be around 8 frames per second, so this is running around 6 frames per second. Now I'm going to reduce the detail level to normal and see if we can get better frame rates. Okay, we're on normal detail level, and you can see we're doing around 8 frames per second, so that's not much of an improvement.
You missed. Well, climb up and drag it.
And of course I fell down. As you can see, we're still in a simple room and the frames is only 8 frames per second, so you can imagine exactly when we go outside how difficult it's going to be. Okay, this is a 3D Mark Advantage, and we're going to just run it on default mode. This is the trial version, so here goes. And the performance score for the 3D Mark Vantage is 3857, where the CPU scored 14,325 and the graphic card scored 3,101. Okay, now we're running PC Mark Vantage. This is the trial version, so it'll be running on default settings. We get a score of 6,301.
Apparently I seem to have lost my video with my final thoughts about the Acer M3300-655X7. So I'll be recording my thoughts right now on my sensor, and then I'll just overlay it over a spec of the system, so you guys can take a look at that as you can hear me rumble on. If you're a beginner or a first time user of a PC, the Acer Aspire M3300 is a good machine to consider, considering that it has a AMD 6-core CPU inside, so you got something already with quite a lot of horsepower in it, and you don't have to worry that you're picking up a crappy system on sale. And the only thing which you might consider upgrading immediately after you pick up the system will be the RAM, because 2 megs of RAM is not quite a lot for a Windows 7 system. I mean, it is more than the minimum required, but it's not quite a lot, because as most people know, new users and beginners of PCs, they tend to overextend the PC's resources, and they open up a lot of apps and they try to do a lot of things because they think it's a 6-core machine, you can do all that stuff, but the RAM runs out, and then it starts doing file swapping on the swap drive. I wish it would be the hard drive in this case. So upping the RAM to 4 gigs would be just perfect for it. You can do a lot of basic gaming on it. It's not a problem, because you're not going to really hit it out that hard on the ATI 5570. But if the next thing which you might want to upgrade would be the graphic card. Push out that 5570, stick in a 5850 or something better than that. Or if you're quite partial to NVIDIA, you can always drop in an NVIDIA card. Nothing else to say really about the system other than it really is a beginner system. It has a very nice look and feel. You get a keyboard, you get a mouse, you get speakers, so you're pretty much good to go. All you need to do is actually buy a monitor to run the thing, or run the thing to watch what you're doing, and that's it. So if I was to recommend this, I would just recommend it to beginners or users, like I said, who are out for the first PC. They're looking for the first PC, and they don't want to be more or less left out in the cold when it comes to upgrading it, because just bought something which is like an outdated system.